Today, we are ranking every single Clash card by whether or not they would be good at cooking. I don't know why, but you guys have requested this one a ton, so we're just going to do it, okay? I'm ready to go. Now, let's go over our tiers. We have Head Chef, obviously Gordon Ramsay level cooking. Then we have Restaurant Quality. You are a certified good cook in this category. Then we have Edible. You make stuff I would eat, but I would rather have something better. And then we have If I Was Starving. Unless I was literally about to die, I would not eat your food no matter what. Then we have Burns Water. You can't cook at all. You are literally incapable and you burn water. How do you even do that? And then we have Shut Down by the Health Inspector. You're not allowed in the kitchen, and frankly, you should probably be in jail. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go through the list. We're going to start from the bottom this time because I'm sick of going in the same order every time, okay? It gets exhausting. So let's start with Vines. Now, Vines, actually, I feel like Vines is probably going to be a very good cook. And you're like, what? That doesn't make any sense. It's Vines. How could that even be possible? Well, it's very simple. There's so many of them, right? They come out of the ground. They could be cooking over here with the pan or something. They could be chopping stuff over here with the knife, all at the same time, okay? They have so many hands. I feel like they would just be naturally good at cooking. The Vines. Okay, next up we have Spirit Empress. Spirit Empress doesn't strike me as a good cook, okay, at all. I would say if I was starving, I would eat her food. I don't know what it is. Maybe she's just a little too rambunctious, okay? She's got too much going on. She's a little too rough around the edges with her dragon and all that. I don't know. She's also an empress too. So like, do we really think royalty is cooking? Probably not. So if I was starving, she could do it. She'd probably not burn in water though. Okay, Boss Bandit. Boss Bandit. Boss Bandit does not strike me as the cooking type either. I would also say if I was starving, maybe even burns water. She just doesn't seem like she would have any need to cook, okay? She's got minions for that. Not literal Clash minions, but like minions. You know what I mean? Goons. She's got goons. Goons. Okay. Next up, we're going to do the Berserky. We're not going to do the Berserky. We are going to place the Berserky on the tier list. She's a child. She can't eat. She can eat food. She can't cook food, probably. Probably burns water, bro. She's got no idea what she's doing in the kitchen. She's a child. We don't expect that much out of her, okay? Rune Giant is fucking head chef quality, though. The Rune Giant cooks like nobody's business. She's a mom, okay? Look at her, bro. She looks like she belongs. That sounds so sexist. She looks like she'd be... Never mind, okay? Never mind. Goblinstein. Goblinstein is gonna be... Bro, shut down the health department. He's putting fingers and shit in your food on purpose, okay? No, thank you. No, thank you. Suspicious Bush. Two little goblins in a bush. These guys aren't cooking, okay? Burns water at best, okay? They probably, I don't know, put people in stews. Do goblins eat people in the Clash universe? I don't know, but they definitely can't cook, okay? It's the last thing on their mind, right? Goblin Machine is a genius, and so I feel like he just would be at least restaurant quality. Maybe not head chef, but at least restaurant quality, right? He is super intelligent, okay? And they say cooking is science, and if you've ever tried to cook anything, it is kind of science, right? I don't cook. I'm not good at it, but whatever. Anyway, I forgot to say this in the beginning. If you have ideas for tier lists or other fun videos, drop them in the comments. I do read them, trying to get to replying to them, but there's been a lot of them, so thank you for that, guys. But yes, please leave your ideas in the comments. I do see them, I do check them, and try and pick them from the comments. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're going to hit 5K by the end of February, okay? Next up, we have Goblin Curse. Is there any world where turning things into goblins results in good food? I would say no. Arguably, if I found a goblin in my food, I'd be like, what the hell? Call the health inspector, okay? Next up, we have Goblin Demolisher. Goblin Demolisher is blowing food up, okay? He's not cooking it. He's definitely burning water. Maybe he occasionally cooks a potato the right way, but most of the time he's just blowing stuff up. Okay, Void. Void is at least edible, I would say. Depending on how many things you lay out will really decide how much Void can cook, you know? I mean, if you put down 3 things, they might be a little underdone. If you put down 2, it's probably perfect. And if you put down 1, that shit's gonna be charred into oblivion. So I would say edible, just depending on how many things you're trying to cook at one time. The Little Prince. The Little Prince himself cannot cook, but I'm very sure that the Guardian can at least make edible food, okay? Part of the Guardian's job is to protect the Little Prince, right? She has to know how to cook for him in times of needing to cook for him. So I think that makes perfect sense. maybe you could bump it up to restaurant quality, but I just don't get that vibe. Also, somebody said I should do the towers, and I feel like especially on this one, it really makes sense. Okay, obviously, chef is going. He's a chef. I mean, what do you want me to say? Okay, and then we got the Dagger Duchess. Dagger Duchess is not cooking for shit, bro. She's burning water. Absolutely. I mean, she's royalty. There's no shot. The Cannoneer definitely makes restaurant quality food. Just look at him. He looks like the type of guy where he's cooking at a campsite and you go up to him and you're like, hey, bro, what's that in that pot? Can I have some? And he gives it to you. And it's like the best stew you've ever had in your entire life. But that's all he knows how to make. I trust him to at least execute that. The princess, again, a princess, bro, shut down the health department. And while we're talking about princesses and tower princesses, where's the other one? Where's the other little rascal in this list? Where's she at? There she is. They don't cook, bro. They don't know how to cook. They're a danger to themselves and others in the kitchen, okay? All right, let's go back to the monk. The monk is definitely making edible food, at least. I mean, he's old. He's made it this far in life. He's had to cook for himself sometimes. And frankly, if you don't cook a lot, you may not be good at it, but you at least make some stuff, right? If you cook this long, I feel like you have to be able to make edible food by now, bro. He's like 400 years old. Surely he's learned something. The Phoenix. I don't know what projectile the Phoenix actually shoots. I don't know if it's spitting fire. Typically, Phoenixes are associated with fire, so what I assumed is it's shooting fire, but I'm not 100% certain on that, and I don't know how much control it has over shooting fire, so I'm gonna say if I was starving. Listen, a giant mythical bird making you food, actually... Okay, so edible, okay? Listen, if a giant mythical bird came to me and was like, hey, bro, do you want this spaghetti I just made? I would feel obligated to eat it, right? So certainly not if I was just starving. I would eat it no matter what. I mean, it's a fucking phoenix offering you food. I feel like you have to say yes. Like, when is that ever going to happen again? Okay, Mighty Miner. Mighty Miner makes restaurant quality food. This guy's got dad vibes written all over him. He barbecues like nobody else's business. All right, trust. Next up, we have the Skelly King. Skellies are all going in Call the Health Department, bro. I will put them all there right now. They don't eat. Why would they know how to cook? Most of them are children, okay? If they're not children, they're royalty. Like, in what world are they all going to be, you know, cooking food? Especially the wall breakers and the bomber, bro. They're going to be blowing food up. I think that's all of them. If we see them again, we'll go ahead and put them up there. But there's no shot that any of the Skellies know how to cook food, okay? They simply have no need for that skill. All right. Maybe you could argue one of them out of the tombstone, one single skeleton child that comes out was a pro chef in their life before death, and now they know how to cook from the afterlife. I don't know, but we're really stretching things there, okay? Goblin drill. Actually, I skipped this fucking prick. I skipped this guy. Golden Knight. If I was starving, I don't trust this guy to make food, okay? He's some kind of royalty. I get the vibe of he's arrogant. He's the kind of guy who's like, bro, you have to come try my cooking. And then he plops down the most bland, flavorless spaghetti you've ever eaten in your entire life. Okay. Goblin drill. Several goblins. Now, we have to divine how good the goblins are going to be at cooking. And I just don't really know, you know? Thinking about it. 3 little goblins jumping on the bed. One falls off and cooks you lasagna. Should you eat it? If I was starving. I would say if I was starving, I would eat whatever the goblins have got in their drill. It probably is moldy and stinks right in there. It's probably not good in there. It probably is rank, frankly. And if they've got like a bag of Doritos or something in there, that's not going to be good. It's going to be half-eaten, crushed, you know. And then they've got like a little treat in a bag or something. I just don't trust it. Okay, Mother Witch. Mother Witch, I've heard, is a godly cook making cookies and stuff. So I'm going to absolutely put her right there. Next up, we have the E-Giant. The E-Giant is going to be Burns Water. Bro is not concerned with cooking, frankly. I don't see him being concerned with cooking. He's got other things on his mind, like electrical experiments to conduct, and he's just zapping shit all the time. So I don't see him being able to cook very well. Now, E-Spirit. All of the spirits, bro. I'm sorry that at least... Hold on, actually. Where are the rest of them? Where are the rest of these little bastards? You guys are going to love this, okay? You're going to love this. If you watch the other tier list, you know I'm incredibly hard on the spirits because, frankly, they just, they jump, they spawn in, they go, ah, and then kill themselves. So there's not a whole lot you can do with them. However, in this one instance, I would say I would eat whatever the fire spirit cooked if I was starving. I feel like it would jump onto something, kill itself, and maybe, probably, most likely burn it. But I would eat it if I was starving, right? It's better than burnt water. Royal delivery. Royal delivery. I feel like all the royal guys definitely at least make edible food. There's so many of them. Somebody's got to be good at cooking, right? I feel like we could probably put the other guys. Where are they at? Scanning, 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 scanning. Royal recruits located. These guys, I feel like at the very least, all of them together make restaurant quality. Look, if one guy can make edible food, one of them amongst the 6 has to be really good at cooking. I think it just makes sense. They're traveling around doing military army things and stuff. You know, one of them's got to be good at cooking. Okay. Firecracker. Firecracker. I think Firecracker is a surprisingly good cook. I don't know what it is about her. I just feel like that's like a hobby she'd have. It'd be like some little quirk about her, you know. She's like, yeah, I'm actually great at cooking. That just seems like something. I get the vibe. Okay, I can't explain it more than that. I get the vibe. Battle Healer. Battle Healer is definitely restaurant quality as well. She just seems like she burns water. I've changed my mind. The Battle Healer strikes me as the type of woman to go to Starbucks and stuff all of the time, and I just don't get the vibe that those people cook. You know, if you're going out to eat all the time, you probably don't cook a lot. And if you don't cook a lot, you're probably not very good at it, and you probably don't think about it. And I just get that vibe from her. She's like going to Chipotle every day. She's never cooking anything, and if you asked her to, she would freak out a little bit. I don't know how old she is. That's just the vibe. Okay, E-Golem. E-Golem probably doesn't eat anything, and he's going to be gooping all over the place, bro. I don't want to get a burger from the E-Golem and open up the top, you know, take the bun off and look down and see fucking E-Golem goop on the top of my sandwich or burger because he gooped on it while he was making it. No, thank you. Call the health inspector. You can't be gooping all over the place if you're going to be cooking food. That's just simply how it is. The fisherman has to be at least a restaurant quality, but I'm going to go head chef. Actually, restaurant quality. His primary job is fishing, okay? It's not cooking. He's a fisherman for a reason, not a cookerman. So he's going to be in restaurant quality. But listen, if you're fishing up that much fish, you got to be able to cook them at least a little bit, right? I think that only makes sense. And the diddler, the Diddy Cage. Mr. Diddy Cage, if I was starving, I just don't think he probably makes that good of food. And what he does makes is like barely edible. It's gross. So yeah. Next up, we have Earthquake. Listen, I don't know how an earthquake would cook food. If it were to cook food, it probably would not be very good. The Ram Rider. I think Ram Rider makes edible food. Okay, she probably just makes average food. I don't get any strong cooking vibes from her, nor do I get any strong not cooking vibes, right? I think she probably just makes decent food, and it is what it is. That might be blasphemous, but that's just what I'm thinking. That's where I'm going with that. Okay, E-Drag. Nobody wants an electrocuted hot dog. We want them cooked on open flame, okay? What could you possibly cook with electricity in a way that would be appetizing? I'm not really sure. I don't know. Maybe some sort of induction heating method or whatever. I think they're electric. That's how they work. I don't know. Don't bother me. If I was starving, I would eat whatever the E-Drag makes. Okay, next up we have the Goblin Giant. The Goblin Giant feels like edible? I don't know. I can't gauge the goblins on how good of cooks they are. We're going to put him at the top here with the rest of the goblins for now. The Royal Hogs. Listen, if we're eating the hogs, I'm there all day long. But if we're eating whatever the hogs cook, probably shut down the health department. Pigs are notoriously not the cleanest of animals. So I'm going to say whatever they cook is probably filthy, tainted, and disgusting. Okay, next up. Snowball. Snowball can't possibly cook anything, bro. It's not bad, but like it's not going to be able to cook whatever it is. So if I was starving, sure, I would eat the very cold, I don't know, hot dog that it made, right? The uncooked lasagna. If worst came to worst, I would eat the uncooked, snowballed, soggy lasagna, but it can't burn water, okay? It can't burn anything. Unless you count frostbite, but freezer burn. Rascals. Rascals is certainly restaurant quality. When you've got 2 kids to feed, you got to learn to cook like that, I feel like. And yeah, I think that just makes sense, okay? Next up, we have the Executioner. I just saw him. I felt like putting him here. Okay, we all know he goes in head chef, right? We all know he goes in head chef. You guys told me this is like all he does is cook, and he's actually a super nice guy. So we're putting him at the top of the list, even, bro. He, as far as I know, from the lore you guys have told me, he is like the #1 guy at cooking. So he's going to the top. All right. Next up, we have Magic Archer. There's two sides to Magic Archer, I feel like that, and I'm not sure which way to go. I could see Magic Archer being incredibly pretentious, like a real prick about food, and just being like, oh, you don't understand the flavors or whatever, you know? And he's like smoking apples and shit like that for his steaks. But I could also see him not caring at all. In fact, I think we're going to go with restaurant quality. He thinks he's head chef, right? He really thinks that he's up there, but he's not. He's just like a pretentious prick about cooking. Okay, next up we have Royal Ghost. Bro, Ghost should not be near food, okay? That burns water. He can't interact with the world at a consistent enough basis, probably, to cook anything. And frankly, why would he? He's a ghost. He doesn't need to eat. Next up, we have the Hunter. The Hunter is edible. Whatever he makes is probably fine. He's probably just a guy who's like cooking up 3 eggs and some bacon in the morning. I don't see him doing much else, frankly. They're probably good, but like, I don't know. It's not restaurant quality. The Barb Barrel. How are you going to cook anything in a barrel? Okay, you're trapped in the barrel explodes, now there's barrel shards all in the kitchen. I'm going to find a fucking piece of wood in my food, okay? I was going to put him in Burns water because he's stuck in the barrel, but I forget. He's going to roll into the kitchen, break the barrel open, chunks of metal and wood are going to fly into the food, and he's going to not even realize, okay? Plus, he's slobbering everywhere. Do you see that? That's disgusting. I don't want Barb slobber in my food. Okay, next up, Zappies. Similar to the E-Drag, if I was starving, I feel like they can't really cook things. They also have no need to. They're probably zapping shit until it's burnt to cook it, but whatever. The Mega Knight. Listen, no hate to the Mega Knight here in this instance. In every other instance, absolutely hate. But he can't possibly really cook in the kitchen. He doesn't need shut down by the health department, but he will burn water. He can't. How is he going to use his mighty fist to turn the knobs to even like, or hold a pan, or like, it just is not going to work. You could say he could take them off, but he wouldn't dare possibly risk being seen by other people. His hands, you know, whatever. Cannon cart. Cannon cart could maybe cook some stuff. If I was starving, but probably burns water. Well, actually shuts down the health department the more I think about it. The risk, of getting gunpowder in your food is just too high. And we could go and put the cannon there as well, as well, for the same exact reason. The flying machine, provided whoever is piloting the flying machine could hop out of the flying machine, probably edible, right? You don't have to be in the flying machine. You can probably get out to cook something. Otherwise, how are you going to live, right? Whoever's flying it, I assume, is a thing that needs food. So I think edible. I think that makes sense. Skelly Barrel. Okay, this is a skeleton we missed. Obviously, skeletons are not cooking anything. They have no need to, so they're probably not very good at it. The Night Witch. Night Witch is edible. Okay, I think Night Witch is very edible, if you know what I mean. But she's actually going to make edible food. She probably cooks on a regular basis. I see her as a much more like put together, just like eating normal food, meal prepping even, possibly. But it's not the best thing you've ever eaten. Bandit. Bandit is a criminal. Do criminals cook well? In my experience, no, they don't. So if I was starving, I've hung around a lot of criminals at times in my life, and frankly, cooking food was never one of the things that I really felt like they brought to the table. So we're going to put her there. Bats don't cook their food. They eat bugs. Shut down the health department. If there's bats in the kitchen, I'm going to be worried I'm getting rabies. No, thank you. Battle ram. 2 barbs with a battle ram. They can't put the battle ram down to do anything. They're too fucking preoccupied with bashing doors in. So burns water. They're gonna start cooking and then they forget about it because they gotta go ram some shit. So get out of there. Dark Gob. Dark Gob does not strike me as making good food. He strikes me as making up lots of poisons and elixirs of killing. So if he's making none of his food is edible, I would say shut down the health department. I'm too worried he would poison me. Next up, we have Goblin Gang. Goblin Gang, I'm going to put in edible, at the very least. I feel like they probably make decent food. There's a lot of them. It's unlikely that at least one of them can't figure out how to cook decently. And they need to eat, unlike the skeletons. So I think that makes sense. Next up, we have Ewiz. That's a controversial opinion, I feel like, putting Ewiz in head chef. But I just get the vibe. He just, the best at anything in the world, they're often very eccentric people, right? I feel like the Ewiz just gives me like he could be a very eccentric chef. I could see him on one of these cooking shows being, you know, like electrons. And then, you know, he's like, that food's great or whatever, you know. I just trust it. Okay. I trust it. Next up, we have clone. Now, I make edible food. Okay. I eat it. It is edible. It's certainly not restaurant quality. I don't care about cooking. I actually hate it. I hate cooking really bad. I don't like it at all. So I'm not good at it. I'm not horrible at it. I won't give you food poisoning, and what I make will be edible, sometimes even good, I might say, but it's definitely not going to be restaurant quality. Barbs, elite barbs. Actually, let's do tornado first. Tornadoes can't cook things. Makes sense. If the tornado came through to try to cook anything, it would ruin the restaurant, and you'd have to rebuild it from the ground up and get it inspected by the health department. So makes sense. E-barbs. E-barbs. Listen, I don't think that they would make anything terrible, but they're probably eating like MREs or something, or mutton that everybody else makes for them. They don't strike me as cooking stuff, you know. And in the same token, where are they at? The elite units are probably just not cooking stuff because they're like doing missions and things like that. I don't know. They're doing military operations, right? They don't have time to cook. It's not one of the skills they're really allowed to develop, I don't think, because their lives are otherwise so preoccupied with being a military combatant. So that's where they go. Next up, we have graveyard skeletons. Again, they don't cook. Okay, no matter how many of them you have, they don't need to cook. They're probably not good at it, and they're children. There are so many of them are children. Okay, I don't know where we're getting all these dead kids skeletons from, but there's a lot of them. The Inferno Dragon. I'm going to say restaurant quality. Now, I was tempted to put him in the head chef. He definitely has perfect temperature control, right? Similar to like the wizard, which we'll talk about eventually. I feel like if you have command over fire, you can probably cook stuff very well as long as you're not killing yourself in the process like a fire spirit. However, he's a dragon. Do they really give a fuck if their food's cooked? Probably not. So I feel like actually I'm going to drop him into burns water. He probably doesn't have any desire to cook anything. He just eats shit raw. Like he's gobbling up people or whatever he eats and doesn't worry about cooking them. He doesn't know how to cook. He just has a laser attached to him and could cook if things came down to it. Or maybe it's inside him. I don't know how it works. Anyway, Mega Minion. Mega Minion, master of the human being. I'm sorry, slave to the human beings. And on top of that, dad. Definitely restaurant quality. I wouldn't go much higher, but he probably similar to the Mighty Miner, bro. I feel like he'd be barbecuing like crazy or something. He's good at cooking, all right? Ice Golem. Probably burns water. Probably has no desire to cook. Probably doesn't need to eat anything. Probably can't really cook anything because being near open flame is probably pretty bad for you if you're made of ice, I would have to guess. So burns water, never cooks anything, and probably doesn't need to be, well, I don't know. I was going to say needs to be shut down by the health department, but I'm really not sure. It's fine where he's at. Lumberjack, alcoholic. Listen, if you've ever had an alcoholic make you food, it never goes well, okay? They're too busy getting slammed to ever actually finish cooking the food in a timely manner. By the time it gets to you, it's overcooked. It's terrible. If I was starving, listen, I'm not going to get into my personal traumas here, but let's just say I would never want to be around an alcoholic cooking food again. Thanks for coming to my therapy session. Log. It's a log. It can't cook food. It doesn't need to eat either. Bowler. I get restaurant quality vibes from Bowler, maybe even head chef vibes. He strikes me as a guy who would be very good at cooking. Like he's just really passionate about it. But without knowing much more about him, I'm going to stick him in edible, and I think that makes sense. Okay, next up we have the Lava Hound. Listen, the Lava Hound cannot be a good cook. It would burn water, okay? It's made of fire. It's filled with fire children. It doesn't probably eat normal stuff. I would assume it eats like lava or rocks or something. So listen, cooking is not anywhere on the Lava Hound's radar. Sparky. Sparky, 0, 100, right? Only those two options, okay? 0 or 100. It has no in between. There's no medium with the Sparky. There's no medium rare, okay? Everything is fucking charred to a crisp or not cooked at all. So shut down the health department, okay? We can't be eating burnt shit and we can't be eating uncooked stuff. That's how you get food poisoning. No, thank you. Miner. Miner's a pretty good cook. Restaurant quality. It seems like a hobby you would have. Him and the executioner, I could see them chopping it up about recipes and stuff like that. Feel like he probably just cooks pretty often. Seems like that type of guy to me. But he also seems like the type of guy to only eat Slim Jim. So I'm actually going to drop him down to edible. The more I think about it, he's underground all the time. He probably doesn't have time to cook. Cooking underground can be dangerous depending on where you're mining and stuff. So he's probably just eating Slim Jims all day. I see that happening. Guards, skeletons, don't cook. We've been over this. The furnace. Oh man, the furnace is interesting. I feel like the furnace himself is actually a ridiculously good cook because he has perfect mastery over fire. However, he constantly is spawning fire spirits that then jump on his food and char it. So I'm going to go if I was starving, right? Because there's a very real chance what I get is nearly inedible because it's been cooked by 10 fire spirits over the process of the cooking. But there's also a chance that the furnace can control them or whatever, and he just cooks it well. So it's a real gamble. So he goes there. Next up, we have the Ice Whiz. Ice Whiz cannot really cook things with any of his abilities. There's no help. He can make some really good ice cream, probably. I don't know. I feel like he doesn't need to. I don't know how tolerant he is of fire, right? If I was starving, I don't know. That feels right. Poison. I'm not gonna eat poison food. Okay. Dark Prince. Dark Prince makes edible food. He's probably a decent. Well, he's royalty. Why would he need to cook? If I was starving, I would make whatever he ate. I don't think he would burn water. The Prince would though. The Prince would absolutely burn water. Fuck that guy. He's not good at anything other than pissing me off. All right. The Royal Giant. I feel like giants inherently have to at least go in the edible category. Now, he's a royal giant, so I think he's less good than the giant, who I think is actually restaurant quality. But listen, if you're a giant, you have to eat a ton of food, frankly, to stay alive. The sheer amount of calories you need to intake daily sort of necessitates that you learn to cook for yourself, I think. So unless you're royalty, in which case you don't have to. The golem eats rocks, probably, or people, or children, or something. So definitely, I don't want a rock creature anywhere near my food, okay? I don't want to eat pebbles. I don't want dust in my shit. No, thank you. Mama Pekka. Now, I would love if someone could explain to me what the deal with the pancakes is and stuff, because I see things where people are like, oh, you just need to feed him pancakes, or oh, he would be a great cook because he can make pancakes, or the Pekkas. I don't understand how the pancake things work. Is it only Mini Pekka who sees the world as pancakes? Is it Mama Pekka as well? Is it all Pekkas? It's a nature spirit. Why does the nature spirit see everything as pancakes? Okay, none of it makes any sense to me. You guys only give me very loose explanations. I need better ones to really understand where to put the Pekkas. For now, they're going to go in if I was starving because it's just a fucking wild card. I have utterly no idea whether or not I should trust them to cook anything. Listen, if they make some banger pancakes, I love pancakes, okay? Cinnamon roll pancakes from IHOP, even though they're not very good, I still love them. They're bangers, okay? They're not very good from like a technical cooking standpoint. From like a sugar yummy standpoint, hell yeah. You know, if you've had them, you know what I mean, okay? Expo probably can't cook anything, so I'm gonna say burns water. Like you can't be shooting arrows into the kitchen equipment, okay? The appliances, it's just gonna ruin them. You can't cook that way. Lightning, again, is very similar to Sparky. Either doesn't cook things or chars them into oblivion, so it's gonna go there in shut down by the health inspector. And we have Balloon next. Skeleton doesn't need to eat. Witch is going to be controversial, okay? She needs to eat, but her many children do not need to eat. I'm going to say edible. She can cook some food. She can throw a microwave pizza in the oven, okay? If she needs to make, like, I don't know, like hamburger helper or something, she's got that. She can make edible food for herself, but she probably doesn't need to cook that often or be very good at it. Freeze cannot. It's similar to the Ice Whiz, but like no heat tolerance. So I'm going to say shut down by the health inspector. Listen, if you cannot cook food, if you're running any kind of cooking show, you are doing cooking things or whatever, you know, like whatever imaginary scenario we come up with, as long as it's not make ice cream or frozen yogurt, freeze and shit like that is off the table. Baby Dragon is going to be Probably burns water, similar to the Inferno Dragon. What they eat, I don't know, but they're probably not very concerned about cooking it. Goblin Barrel, listen, we don't need a Goblin Barrel crashing in through the kitchen. And the moment they do that, they're probably we're going to need to call the health inspector because he just fucked all our shit up. You know, the fume hood or whatever it is the ventilation screwed. Now we got to get that guy back in here. Skarmy, Skellyman Army. Skellyman Army is, you know, they don't cook either. They got no business in the kitchen. Rage. Okay, listen. Rage in and of itself cannot cook. There's no way. If I were to personify it into a person, it would give me alcoholic vibes and I would never want to eat what it has. If you were to rage me up, I would not be any better in the kitchen. If you were to rage Gordon Ramsay up, he might kill someone at this point. So he's already so mad all the goddamn time. I'm going to put it in where I put the lumberjack. If I was starving, I would eat whatever that means, okay? Mirror, listen, it's me, edible. Next, Barb Hut. Barb Hut. Barb Hut, Barb Hut. Restaurant quality. Okay, listen. There's 10 barbs in there at least, all hanging out, making food. One of them's got to be good. One of them has to be designated cook guy. So I feel like they probably eat pretty good. I feel like they eat shit like mutton and stuff, though. You're not going to get anything high class at the Barb Hut. But if you go in there, bro, they'll probably hand you a mug of beer and a turkey leg, all right? And it'll be a good-ass turkey leg, okay? So I'm going to put it restaurant quality. They basically have a little restaurant in there. Pump. I don't need... It's similar to the E-Golem, bro. I don't need mysterious liquid in my food, okay? Listen, I've had enough of that, all right? Rocket. Again, 100 to 0. It can only cook one thing. Wherever it cooks it, it will leave a crater in the ground, and we'll have to call the health inspector if it was even in the restaurant. You'll probably kill so many people. Maybe you could strap the rocket to a thing and then just use the exhaust from it. But I don't know. We're getting into some weird territory. No, thank you. The Inferno Tower. The Inferno Tower can probably cook some very fine food. It can't cook a lot of things, but I mean, if you were like, hey, bro, can you heat this microwave pizza for me? It could go, and then eventually it would probably be pretty good. And, you know, if you moved it out of its line of sight, it would stop cooking it. And it's kind of up to you to cook it well. So I think that's fine. The Wizard. Wizard is definitely a god tier cook, okay? He has perfect manipulation of fire, right? He controls flame. How could he not be good at cooking? Certainly cooking is more than that, but I mean, he can make sure your steak is perfectly done every single time. Spear Gob Hut, edible for sure. Nowhere near as good as the barbs, but I feel like why do I say Spear Gob Hut every single time? Every single time I'm like, it's the Goblin Hut. I know that. I shouldn't have said Spear Gob. They just need to get this fucking spear off the image for it, and then I wouldn't say it, okay? They're trying to psyop me. Now, as I was saying, not as good as the Barb Hut, but still pretty good. Bomb Tower. Bomb Tower skeletons, they don't cook, okay? Listen. Fireball. Burns water, okay? The fireball probably can't control its heat output enough to realistically cook anything less than like fucking evaporated, right? So I think that makes sense. Hog Rider, restaurant quality. Bro, the Hog Rider, I trust to make some good ass food. He's got a family to feed and stuff. Excuse me, I feel like he probably cooks a ton of food and is good at it too. He's not a professional chef, but you'd be really happy to go to his house and eat some of what he's cooking up. All right, next up, Valkyrie. I also get the same vibes from the Valkyrie. I just feel like these rugged people possibly have to cook a little more often, like the Rascals and stuff. You know, they're out there. I don't know if the Valkyrie is a part of the Outlaws or whatever, but she's out there, you know. She's living in the wilderness or something. She's a barbarian. They probably cook decent food, similar to the Barb Hut. I get those vibes, okay? And the Musketeer. I can see the Musketeer being in head chef or edible, not in between, okay? She's either like exceptionally good at cooking and really cares about it, or she makes edible stuff when she has to. And I'm going to put her in edible stuff when she has to. She's a part of the military. They probably get fed their cafeteria food or whatever most of the time, you know, on their bases. So I'm going to put them there. Minions, Minion Horde, too many cooks in the kitchen. Only if I was starving. I do not trust them to make something good. There's too many of them. They'd get up to no good. One of them would like piss the other off and they'd be slapping each other like the Three Stooges or something. It would not go the way you want it to. I know you think they're the servants of humanity, and surely they would make something great for humanity, but no, I promise you, too many cooks in the kitchen. It's a saying for a reason. Barbs. Barbs are going in restaurant quality. Oh, actually, they're going in edible. Listen, there's no guarantee the 5 barbs you pull out of the barb hut are going to be the ones who are good at cooking. So it's a real dice roll. Next up, mortar. There's no fire with the mortar. I'm just getting like, imagine you're like, mortar, make me a sandwich, and it goes okay, and then it launches a big rock onto 2 pieces of bread, and it's like, here you go. No, thank you. Nobody can eat that other than the golem. So yeah, Archer Queen, restaurant quality. I trust her. Well, she's a queen actually. Probably doesn't cook at all, but I feel like if she had to, she'd probably make edible food. I just think that she's probably decent at it. Next up, we have Tesla Tower. Tesla Tower can only char stuff, probably. I don't think it probably can cook things very well, similar to Zappy's. So if I was starving, I would eat whatever it cooked, because I know it would be edible. At least it'd be done, but it's probably nearly burnt to a crisp. Arrows. Arrows probably can't cook anything, so shut down by the health department. And minions. Minions actually go in restaurant quality. But what about the minion horde? It's too many minions in the minion horde. That's why we rank them lower. Not because they're minions, but because there's too many of them. 3 minions is the perfect amount of minions to prepare you a perfect meal. You got a guy on prep, you got a guy cooking the meat, you got a guy cooking the sides, okay? It's perfect. Listen, trust. Next up, we have archers. Archers probably cook edible food. I don't know. They're probably decent at it if they're not children. I still don't know if they're kids or not. You guys never answer that question. I ask it nearly every video, and you guys never tell me if the archers are kids or not. Okay? The Knight. Restaurant quality for sure. He's just strikes me as the kind of guy who cooks good food, cares about cooking good food, cares about eating good food, and yeah, he's no head chef, okay? He's no Gordon Ramsay or whatever, but he's proud of the stuff that he makes, and he's happy to share it with you. You know, he's a good guy. Zap. This is basically a microwave, right? No, probably not. But I'm gonna put it in if I was starving. It's like a microwave to me. Spear gobs. We have 3 goblins here. Let's just go ahead and place them all at once and finish up our tier list here. We have 3 goblins. 3 goblins. How good are these 3 goblins at cooking? You know, how good are the goblins at cooking in general? Let's see where we place the rest of them. At best, we put them in edible, right? And I feel like 4 goblins, edible. Spear gobs, definitely edible also. Goblin giant. I know what I said about the giants earlier, but the goblin giant doesn't strike me as cooking anything ever. I would put, probably if I was starving, I would eat whatever these guys are eating. Well, I'm going to put it in edible also. Okay, listen, I think the goblins probably just in general make edible food. They all probably live together and somebody cooks or whatever, but I trust them to be able to like fry up some bacon or something like that and not be fucking burnt to a crisp. Or if I was like, hey, can you guys make me some stew? They're probably like, yeah, sure, we can do that. So I just think they got that. I don't know why. It's just what my heart tells me. And that's simply all we can do here in these tier lists. You know, I just got to go with what my heart says sometimes. So here's the tier list of how good all of the Clash cards would be good at cooking. I feel like this is a pretty solid one, actually. I feel like I did a good job on this one. I think most of my rankings this time are pretty fair. But let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to leave suggestions in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe. We're going to hit 5K by the end of February. Watch, I'll make it happen. And I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.